That's right, I'm back, and we're going to talk about this comment right here. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? My name is Dave Connery. I'm an artist and designer based in Southern California, and I am never going to do what you expect of me. Okay, that might be a little bit unfair. I'm going to do some of what you expect of me, but I'm not going to be doing it forever. Talk about that comment for a second. Now, that's a generalized comment. It's not a specific comment to anybody in particular, but I've gotten that type of comment in some of my videos in the past, and I want to address what I believe is the motivation behind somebody making that particular comment. Been here before, you know I do tutorial videos, mostly on Affinity and sometimes on Adobe stuff. I understand that sometimes people are going to come to my channel expecting to get the answer to their problems, and that's why I do a lot of these tutorial videos, because I want people to get an answer to their particular problem. The unfortunate part of this is that sometimes what their question is and what my video is about don't connect, right? They get there, but sort of and not. And I'm sure you've probably experienced this before. I've experienced this before when I've tried to seek out a particular need or desire to do anything in a particular program, and I just can't quite find the video, or I have to sit through a certain portion of the video in order to get to the thing that I immediately want. I understand why some people would be impatient if they come across me and find out that I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to talk and I'm going to tell a story and I'm going to share experience and I'm going to do the things that I feel are best for people in general. Not just a very particular need to say, hey, how to do this one thing. That's not what this channel is, and it's not what it's going to be about in the future for sure. Now, I can sit here and rail against the impatience of some individuals, and I can sit here and say, listen, how about you sit down and just pay attention for a second, because you might actually learn something beyond the scope of that one tiny thing that you're trying to solve right now. One thing I've learned is that there are a lot of people that are no longer going to design school. In fact, they're just learning all of their chops through platforms like this, where they come into a website to watch videos about how to do certain things, and then that's how they become good designers. And I think that that's awesome. It gives me a job to do, you know, it gives me something to do for my time to be able to come in here and share what I know. The problem with this is that if you are learning everything through YouTube videos or reading blogs or, you know, following along on somebody's Instagram stories, if that's the way you're learning, you know, it's cool that you're learning that way, but you're missing a very key aspect of growing as a designer. One of the things that I've seen, especially like in places like on Instagram or whatever, like people design things, they only design the things that they have learned from other people on platforms such as this. They only use styles and techniques they learned from other people, which is okay, which is perfectly fine. The problem is that they're not getting any mentorship. They're not learning from anybody who's been there to teach them over and over again. Like, look, this looks good, but maybe tweak it like this. Maybe place that thing over here. Maybe put that text like this. Maybe try a different typeface. You know, one of the things that you probably don't know about printing this thing is that if you do it this way, something else is going to happen. Something wrong is going to happen. And these are things that you cannot learn through YouTube. They have to be kind of the over-the-shoulder art director, creative director type of situation where somebody is standing over you and actually watching you do the thing. Or they were able to look at your files and say, okay, I like what you did here, but maybe try it this way instead. And that's something you just can't get from watching on YouTube. So I suppose the real point of this video is to, number one, maybe have a little bit more patience, because you might actually learn something from somebody rather than just going after that one thing that you're looking for. And number two, if you have an opportunity to learn from somebody directly, whether it's through a job, working at an agency, or for an in-house design department or something of that nature, take that job, if even for just a year or 18 months, so that you can get a nuanced approach to design work that you're probably not going to get doing it on your own, working as a freelancer without any sort of guidance. One of the best things I ever did before I even got out of design school was I got an internship with a local designer. My style is vastly different than his now, but he taught me so much. Typography, how to work with printers, how to work with clients, the expectations of the client-designer relationship. He taught me so much that I would never have learned had I just gone it on my own. I mean, I may have learned it eventually, but I learned it really, really fast. That internship was really short. It was only about 3 months long, but I learned so much in that time. And the best part about that internship was that it allowed me the opportunity to get a job right out of school. So many of my friends couldn't get work, or they got work with places that were like, you wouldn't want to work there, like working at the newspaper doing, you know, ad placements. You know, those companies that put the images on the back of receipts? Yeah, that I had a friend who had that job. Meanwhile, I was getting interviews with ad agencies and corporations like Disney and even small boutique design firms because I had not only the experience of having the internship, but my work had progressed so much in that short period of time because somebody looked over my shoulder and told me, don't do it like that, do it like this. That's the thing that got me the job. That's how I progressed so quickly in my career. When I look back over my entire career, I can pinpoint certain times in my progress where a definitive change happened because of something somebody shared with me. Whether it was my creative director at the magazine publishing company or the things that I learned about printing and everything from the design agency I worked at, or even the things that I learned from my internship. All of that made me the designer I am today. Now, of course, I had to put a lot of work in myself, a ton of work in myself, and over the last several years, it's all been me. But everything I've been doing lately is all based upon all the things that I learned early on. Even though I didn't have the most meteoric rise in my career, I definitely feel like I'm way ahead of a lot of other people out there because of the things that I learned from somebody who stood over my shoulder. I'm not talking about the clients. Don't let clients stare over your shoulder. You don't know how to do what they do. Don't let them tell you how to do what you do. I keep waffling back and forth about this, and I'm not sure if it's something that I would actually do or if it would even hit, but I have this thought in my head that, providing mentorship to designers in a certain way so that they can learn faster and progress quicker with their work just by, taking a couple of hours with me to sit down and say, hey, let's do this and do it this way or do it that way, or maybe think about it like this, or maybe also consider that there are things down the road that you need to take into consideration before you produce this thing that you're doing right now. Those are completely nebulous thoughts, but you get what I'm trying to get at. Like having somebody that can direct you in a particular way to help you with your design work, to kind of give you a thumbs up, or maybe even show you, maybe try and make it like this, or like that, or like this, or like that, whatever this means. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. I'm toying with the idea of that, like some sort of service I can provide, like a paid design mentorship for people to help, escalate their work much quicker than if they tried to do it themselves. I want to help, but I also want to get paid. In theory, this sounds really cool, but in practice, maybe it won't be. I don't know. We'll have to see. I guess ultimately the question is that would that be something some of you would pay for? To have somebody give you the over-the-shoulder look-see at your work and kind of direct you in a certain way so that you could grow faster and it would be worth the investment. Again, I don't know what any of this means, but it's just this idea that I've had in the back of my head, and yeah. So that's it. I'm going to get going. But, this one was just about saying, hey, I'm back, and have a conversation about patience, and have a conversation about let's take some opportunity to learn, and maybe have a conversation about what I can do more for you in the future. Speaking of future, I got a video next week. It's going to talk about all about that I think you guys are really going to appreciate. Be good today. Be even better tomorrow. See ya. Watch these. This one's really good. So was that one.